Hello everybody, welcome to The John Show. My name is John, this is my show, and we are back in Fallout New Vegas. More specifically, I am just outside the fence at the Mojave Outpost in the unplayable part of the map. We're doing more out-of-bounds exploration today. In the last one, we went around the southern and eastern end of the map, ending somewhere around the northern shore of the Colorado River. Today, I thought we'd head west from here, hit up the backsides of some points of interest along the way, then end things up north. Let's head out. We're going to head westish from the Long 15. I heard from a reliable source that there's some odd formations out on the left coast that I'd like to see, but also, one of my main goals is to get up behind Jacobstown. In my last two Out of Bounds videos, I had no goals, just wandering. This time, there's 4 places I'd like to get to, and we'll see what else we can find along the way. I know I say this a lot, but I really don't understand all this built-up terrain that isn't used. Was it rushed development time? Engine limitations? Whatever it was, the out-of-bounds area is almost 7 times larger than the playable area. There's so much potential out here. This footage was played on Xbox, so I don't know if there's mods that add stuff out here. If there is, and you know any good ones, comment them down below for everyone else. Like, what is this? A dried up lake bed? Am I in the foothills? From here, looking out across the wasteland, I know the chances of finding something the game developers left out here are slim. The best places to find out-of-bounds stuff is closer to the invisible wall. We're going to take a look at the backside of a couple locations, then head out to the coast. Coming over this ridge, we see our first point of interest just over yonder. This is the backside of the Canyon Wreckage, the entryway to the Lonesome Road DLC, and the path that leads to the Divide, apparently. As we get closer, we can see some structures. Incomplete pylons lay on this boulder, and a little further up we can see a fallen silo and other wreckage. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a destroyed farm, possibly from the detonated warheads Ulysses blames on the courier, which left the Divide an irradiated hellhole. Even out of bounds, I can see the coyotes that surround the Canyon Wreckage entrance. I don't know if they can clip through the invisible wall like that rad scorpion did in the last episode, so I'm not taking any chances. From this side, the door on the Canyon Wreckage is invisible. You can see a couple coyotes pacing around. Getting a little closer, we can see 3 coyotes. Good thing they can't see us. Moving a little closer and... Coyotes! For some reason, there is a boundary that teleports you back to the playable area. I did not know this. After getting my ass kicked by these coyotes, I realized I can't get back in from here. Okay, good thing I thought ahead. In my NCR Power Armor type drip episode, I mentioned traveling to a few spots to get their fast travel locations. Morningstar Cave was one of them. So, Mongo here is going to take over the exploration for the rest of this episode. He's got more health and, more importantly, healing items. The water out here is irradiated, there's drop-offs everywhere, and with no vendors out here, we may need a way to heal ourselves. Heading back to where we left the Out of Bounds, I'm struck by the sheer vastness of this space. I wish I knew how to make mods. I can imagine an entire game that could take place out here, and it wouldn't even have to be in Nevada. There are so many places in America that look just like this. Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, hell, Old Mexico in places, Texas, Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon, the Badlands of South Dakota. If someone knew what they were doing, they could build up entire towns out here, whole cities. Back at the canyon wreckage, and I didn't even notice this before, this boulder isn't even finished. Wild. Okay, now we're going to head towards the coast. Heading southwest from the canyon wreckage, I'll try and make my way over through that low point in the mountains. Once up here, I can see there are more mountains. This reminds me of that movie Alive. It's based on the true story of survivors of a plane crash in the Andes Mountains. 3 of the survivors try to get over the summit thinking that civilization was just on the other side, only to mount the summit and see nothing but the rest of the Andes Mountains spread out before them. At least it's not snowing. We've reached the part of the out of bounds where the textures are broken. We are still a long ways out from the coast. Going back to my talk about mods to add content out here, what would it take to make the textures not flicker like that? Is it just a line of code? Is there some value that needs to be set to 1 or something? I like these mountains. I don't know how much work went into all this. I don't know if these were hand sculpted or procedurally generated, but these remind me of the Cascades that I grew up with here in Washington. I know that these are supposed to represent the spring mountains, but the Cascades are what I'm more familiar with. I see them every day. Ah, we've reached the left coast. Surf's up, dude. I'm looking for some weird border structure on the west coast. I think I'll head north from here. I'm closer to the southern corner, so yeah, north is good. I was told there was some wall-like structures along this side of the map, so that would be kind of cool to see. Plus, I'm hoping to find another one of those singularity anomalies on this side, where it looks like a mini black hole punched through the map. That would also be pretty dope. The textures on this side feel like they're a lot more broken than on the East Coast. Maybe it's the proximity to Jacobstown. Not that Jacobstown comes all the way out here, but I keep seeing the edges ahead of me break up and reform a lot. It's constantly making me think, ooh, singularity, then the textures load in. As we approach the northwest corner, I think I'll have to approach Jacobstown from there. After walking for a few minutes, we're getting close to the northwest corner. I'm beginning to see some weirdness to the edge. Finally. As we approach the corner, I'm certain this is what I was looking for. I watched another New Vegas Out of Bounds video by another YouTuber who, I apologize, I don't remember who you are, but it was an excellent video, and they showed off these features in their video. I'm pretty sure they were playing on PC, so I wanted to see if the same structures were here on the Xbox version. As you can see, here the edge rises sharply, almost a wall against the ocean below. Not that it needs one. As we climb on it, it almost feels like it could have been the edge of a dry lake. Again, begging the question, why? Did someone build this up out here knowing it wouldn't be used and probably not seen? The second wall is much sharper, lots of jagged edges. If anyone knows the answer, comment below. Did Obsidian generate a map, then dress it up in the middle in the playable area? This last set of structures is weird. A long, broken wall that follows the corner with this spike. This spike is right on the northwest corner. What would cause the ground texture to do this? Or again, was this pulled up by the hand of a digital artist? From here, we're going to head in. As much as I enjoy walking around these barren wastelands, they can't be that much fun for y'all. These are the Spring Mountains, I believe. Jacobstown is based on the real-world Retreat on Charleston Peak. So, if you're ever in the area, you too can vacation where the Nightkin received mental health care. Yay! Once I get up here, I'm met with a little plateau. Looking back, you can see how high up we are. Heading inland, you can see the scope of these mountains. So much of them are built up where only a tiny portion is used. I know from my research, they had to build out the map so some things could be seen in the distance from the edges of the playable area, but this stuff is behind what you could see from Jacobstown. You could totally build an entire town up here. There's plenty of room. After walking around for about 15 minutes, making many wrong turns in an effort to go around some impassable mountains, I've finally arrived back on the Pip-Boy. Still got quite the journey to Jacobstown, though. This valley is pretty much a straight shot to the edges of Jacobstown. This massive area definitely reminds me of central Washington, on the eastern side of the Cascade Mountains. I wonder if the presence of all this extra space adds to the unstable nature of New Vegas. At this point, I believe we've reached the ring of mountains that surround Jacobstown. Things will start to look better, and we'll get some more varied textures. We'll head in between these two peaks. Okay, so we are definitely not near Jacobstown. Okay, now we're near Jacobstown. Climbing to the top of this peak, we can now see the ring of mountains that circle Jacobstown. We are actually on the opposite side from where you'd enter the town and get approached by Marcus. Getting over these peaks is a little difficult, but thanks to some Bethesda jumping, we get over them and onto this little flat space. And just around the corner, we see Jacobstown below us. Jumping up here to get a better view, we can see it's a little low poly, but it's there all right. Breaking out the binoculars, we are still too far away for anyone to spawn in. You can see the fortifications they built up behind the buildings just to make sure you can't climb out. We can also see the Lucky 38 and McCarran Airport in the distance. That's really far away. Moving along the ridgeline, I spot something out of the ordinary. All the way out here, where no one else would notice. Let's see if we can get over there. This tree. Is that a hollow rock, maybe? No. Lame. This tree is not like the others. All the other trees are pines. This is what, a birch? A single birch tree up here? Who did this? Heading east with New Vegas all aglow, there's a couple other places I'd like to check out. For sure, I want to see the backside of the Northern Passage, the entry to the Honest Hearts DLC. This close to the playable area, I have to be careful not to fall into a crevice between the rocks and an invisible wall. I should probably start saving more often. Now what is this? A road leading into the strip? Again, I get the feeling this area was supposed to be used. There's not really anything here except radiation and an invisible wall to keep you from jumping back in. I'm not sure what this road is, but it runs by the west side south entrance. Walking towards the Northern Passage, something comes into view. The UFO! I forgot Mongo had the Wild Wasteland perk. Now, if you're unaware, there's this encounter north of Horowitz Farmstead. Normally it's 3 mercenaries, but with the Wild Wasteland perk, you get 3 aliens and this UFO way up on the cliff above them. A little jumping and clipping allows us to see into the spacecraft. It looks like, with what little we can see, there is some kind of cockpit. I can't seem to jump onto the UFO. Moving around to the front, we can see through the broken canopy there's 3 chairs and maybe a small door to the interior of the craft. It's here on the map, north of the west side south entrance and west of the Northern Passage, if you want to give these little guys a visit. They are hostile, but the captain drops an alien blaster. so that's nice of them. Coming around this rock, we're right above the northern passage. I was hoping there'd be more. Moving closer. I don't remember that building, but it's been a minute since I did the Honest Hearts DLC. I am right above the northern passage. I saved, so I'm going to try and get a little closer. And this is why I'm glad I brought Mongo. I tried to get a little closer and got stuck between the cliffside and an invisible wall. This is why we save often and in multiple slots, people. Moving east, there's something off in the distance. Looks to me like a highway. We'll go check this out. There's definitely a highway out there for sure. Wow, this is a huge chunk of elevated highway. Pretty sure we're behind Nellis Air Force, which is the last thing I wanted to look at, but I was not expecting this. Yeah, here's Nellis Air Force Base, home of the boomers. If you get too close, they will open fire on you unless you've already made it there and got permission to be here. Again, no one is around because you're too far away, but the buildings are full resolution, it looks like. Walking underneath the highway, it looks like these sections are connected. Or close enough to jump from one to another. Can we walk on it? Okay, here's the beginning. The road leads that way into the playable map. What's down here? Oh, the road is intangible. I think that's Sammy and Pauline's house. Okay, let's head up the highway. I wonder how far we can get across it. Better approach from the right. What? I can't walk on the highway. Not even over here? Lame. What's the point of making all this then? This is the biggest stretch of highway outside of the playable map by far. I mean, here we are at the edge of Nellis and it's still going. It looks like the road is turning, but to where? And we finally made it to the end of the road. Yep, also intangible. This is a lot of road to not be seen. Again, asking the question, was this part of something they cut? Alright, so today we explored the western and northern parts of the Out of Bounds area. We saw a lot of wasted space, some cool wreckage that no one will ever see, a bunch of roads that seem like they're important, but they weren't. We also got to see Jacob's town from above and a suspicious tree. Oh, and we can't forget the UFO. That was unexpected. And lastly, we phased through this road behind me and found a mile or so of elevated highway that no one will ever see. Next time, we'll send Mongo back to his original timeline to avoid any paradoxes. And we'll check out the northern coast and see if there's anything worth seeing. We'll work our way around the northeast corner and see what's on that side of the Colorado River. But we'll get into all of that next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like what you're seeing, like what you're seeing. Remember, we're the little guy, so help us punch up. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the little bell down there. Do all the little bell thingies. Share this with other people who you think might like my weird videos. And as always, thank you for watching The John Show. My name is John. This was my show. I appreciate you taking the time. You take care now.